Okay, so another linear application problem. Let's read this one through, see what we come up with. The temperature Y in degrees Fahrenheit at the bottom of the mountain, in which is 75 degrees, I should say degrees there, is dropping at a rate of 5 degrees for every 1,000 feet I climb. So part A says write an equation of the line. Write an equation of a line. What comes to mind when I say write an equation of a line? Everything we've done so far is linear. What should pop into my mind right now when I say write an equation of a line? All right, you should be thinking something along the lines of y equals what? Mx plus b. Now, if this paragraph that I just read gives us my m, which is my slope, and my b, which is my y-intercept, then I'm ready to write my equation. At the bottom of the mountain, so if I read this again, at the bottom of the mountain, which is 75 degrees, what is that? What does that 75 degrees represent? It's at the bottom of the mountain. It's my y-intercept, right? This is my y-intercept right here. That's my b value. And then what? And then is dropping at a rate of 5 degrees for every 1,000 feet I climb. What is that? It's dropping at a rate of 5 degrees every time. What's that represent? That's my slope. Now what's my slope? 5? Negative 5. Why? Keyword, dropping. So I have my slope and my y-intercept given to me in that first equation there. So I'll do part A right here. So y equals negative 5x plus 75. Okay. Interpret the slope is part B. So we got some interpretation coming up. Interpret the slope for part B here. I'll do here. And I'm looking for a sentence. Right? And sentence is usually kind of given in the paragraph itself. But the temperature is dropping. The temperature is dropping 5 degrees Fahrenheit per 1,000 feet. Right? And that will be my interpretation. Right? The temperature is dropping, and I have to write the negative sign because it's implied when I say dropping. Right? The temperature is dropping 5 degrees Fahrenheit per 1,000 feet. Part C says find and interpret the y-intercept. So 2 parts of this. Okay? Find and interpret. First off, what is the y-intercept? And we identified that already. Yep, what's the y-intercept? Beautiful. So 75 is the y-intercept. Now what does it mean? Right? And we said, yep. Yeah, I'll take that. Perfect. So at the bottom of the mountain, column, the temperature is 75 degrees. Fahrenheit. Well, if I find and interpret the y-intercept, then let's go ahead and get the x-intercept. Now, the x-intercept here, you're going to have to do a little bit more work. So I'm going to start with my equation, y equals negative 5x plus 75. And if you recognize what an x-intercept is, every x-intercept is unique, is a unique coordinate that has what? As a y value. Yeah, 0 as a y value. So every x-intercept has a y value of 0. So in order to find the x value, all you have to do is substitute in 0 in for y. And you get 0 equals negative 5x plus 75. And solve for x. So I'll add the 5x to both sides. I'll get 5x equals 75. And then I'll divide each side by 5. And I get x equals 75 divided by 5. And I get 15. Now what does that mean? So I found the x-intercept by plugging in 0 for y. And then the next part is now I have to interpret. What does that mean? So I got a coordinate of 15, 0. So when you think about what the x units are, right? So every feet I climb in thousands, right? X is my feet in thousands. Y is my degrees. Degrees Fahrenheit. So when I have the coordinate 15, 0, what does that mean? Yep. Yeah, at 15,000 feet. The temp is 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So you ask for the y-intercept, interpret. You ask for the x-intercept, interpret. So there's your first case of substituting in something for either x or y. Right? And here's another case. Okay, so here's part E. It says, what is the temperature at 11,000 feet? Okay, so what is the temperature at 11,000 feet? Start with your equation. Y equals negative 5x plus 75. That 11,000 feet is either an x value or a y value. And you're going to solve for the opposite of what it is. So what is the 11,000 feet? Is feet x or y? Feet is your x, right? Feet is the x coordinate. So this one's a little tricky in the sense that when I substitute in for x, I'm not going to substitute in 11,000. I'm going to substitute in only 11. Because I'm talking in terms of 1,000. So 1 means 1,000. 2 means 2,000. 3 means 3,000. 11 means 11,000. So negative 5 times 11 plus 75. Negative 5 times 11 is negative 55. Negative 55 plus 75 is 20. So at 11,000 feet, the temperature is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So what else can I give you? I gave you part E, which gives you the x value, and you solve for the y value. Well, now let's look at part F. Part F is, when is the temperature 40 degrees Fahrenheit? So now I'm giving you 40 degrees Fahrenheit. When is the temperature 40 degrees Fahrenheit? So again, I'm going to start with my equation. Y equals negative 5x plus 75. 40 degrees, is that an x coordinate or is that a y coordinate? Degrees Fahrenheit, is that your x or your y? Yeah, it's your y value, so I'm going to substitute in 40 for y. So 40 equals negative 5x plus 75. And then you just have a two-step equation. Subtract 75 from both sides. You get negative 35 equals negative 5x. And x is equal to 7. So at 7,000 feet. Right, at 70,000 feet, at 7,000 feet, the temperature is 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Part G is find the dependent and independent variables. Your y coordinate is always your dependent. Your x coordinate is always the independent. And then the last part of this is the graph. Okay, make sure you label your axes, right? Feet in degrees Fahrenheit. You could use the equation, but you already have two critical points here. You have the x-intercept and you have the y-intercept. The x-intercept we said was 15, 0. So on my x-axis, I'm just going to count 15 out. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So right there is 15, 0. Right? I already have that, I already found that point in part of all this. And I also have a y-intercept, which is 0, 75. On my x-axis, I counted by ones. On the y-axis, if I count by ones, I won't get to 75 there. So I can change what I count by. So since it ends in 75, I'm going to count by 75. But I'm going to count by 5. Okay? So I'm going to count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. So right here is the coordinate 0, 75. And to graph a line, all you need is 2 coordinates. So now I have my 2 coordinates, and I graph my line. So let's take a look at this one. So again, this is another linear equation word problem. And the linear equations we have, I'm just going to write this down, alright, I'll erase them in a second, is y equals mx plus b. Right, you have a slope, you have a y-intercept. Then we have y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. That's point slope. I give you 2 points. You can find the slope, use point slope to find your equation, and slope-intercept form if you want to, something along those lines. And the last form we're going to talk about, I'm going to write up here as ax plus by equals c. Now, does anybody remember what that form is called? Okay, it's called standard form. Now, standard form is unique. Okay, and this is how you can identify standard form. If you read the first sentence, right, you have 2 jobs. Cool. You earn $8 for each hour. I'm going to underline that and stop right there. What does that mean? $8 for each hour. Right? Each hour, per hour, for every hour. What is that indicative of? What does that 8 represent? Yeah, so there's a slope. So my slope here is $8 per hour or each hour. Right? So if I was doing y equals mx plus b, yes, I got my m. Cool. So that means they should be giving me a point if I continue. Okay, so I'm going to continue. So you earn $8 for each hour that you work as a restaurant host, and $6 for each hour you work as a hair washer. What is that? So there's 2 slopes or 2 rates here. And that's the hint that you're going to use standard form when I give you 2 rates or 2 slopes. Okay? So ax plus by equals c. The a term and the b term are both your rate or your slope if you want to say slope. And the c term is your total. So how do I know when to use standard form versus point slope or slope-intercept? When the word problem gives you 2 rates or 2 slopes. Okay? So it gives you 2 rates, and there it is. So you earn $8 for each hour x as a restaurant host. Okay, so 8x plus $6 for each y, hour y that you work as a hair washer, plus 6y. And you want to make a total of $144. So part A, write the equation, that's it. Part B, find and interpret the X and Y intercepts. Well, you know what? I have these 2 jobs, but the restaurant I'm working at is closed for renovations. So you know what? I make $8 an hour there, but I'm going to work there for 0 hours this week. 8 times 0. I still want to earn $144, so this time, how many hours, Y, do I have to work as a hair washer in order to earn $144? So, 8 times 0 goes away, divide by 6, divide by 6, and Y is equal to 24 hours. So, interpret. If I don't work at the restaurant, comma, I must work 24 hours as a hair washer. I'm going to put HW there to earn $144. Alright, and that'll be the interpretation part, right? So it says find and interpret the X and Y intercepts. So plug in 0 for X, solve for Y, that's my Y intercept. So if I don't work at the restaurant, I must work 24 hours as a hair washer to earn $144. Well, guess what? My restaurant's back and open, but now my salon that I work at is currently closed. So I'm going to make my $8 per hour. so 8x. But I can't add anything that I'm working as a hair wash. I can't add the 6 times anything there because I'm going to work 0 hours there that week. But I still want to earn the $144. 6 times 0 goes away. 8x equals 144. Divide both sides by 8. X equals 1 and 8. So that interpretation is similar to the other ones. Rather than saying if I don't work as a restaurant, well, if I don't work as a hair washer this week, then I must work 18 hours at the restaurant in order to earn $144. So these two values, these two intercepts are points. So I would also give you a graph on this one. Alright, so I deleted my graph, but here's my graph. So X is the hours at the restaurant. So I'm just going to put restaurant, R-E-S-T. And this is my hair washer, HW. So 0 comes to this first one in part B here. When I said 0 and I got 24, so when X is 0, Y is 24, that could be this coordinate here, 0, 24. That's my Y intercept. Then when I plugged in 0 here, for Y, I got a coordinate of 18, 0. That could be that's my X intercept, 18, 0. And again, you guys will have a graph of this part, which erased mine by accident. And then you just draw your line between the 2 points. You don't have to put this in slope intercept form or do anything like that. You have the intercepts already. You only need 2 points to graph. You graph from there, and you stop.